Many corporations are bracing themselves for the worst of the credit crunch by downsizing. President Lee says lower wages will mean more jobs. And the ruling and opposition parties are working to get their viewpoints heard on disputed bills. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Friday, the 16th of January. I'm Nemo Kim. Corporations are tightening their purse strings to brace for the worst of the financial crunch. Many executives said major companies are either getting pay cuts or being laid off.
Korea's leading conglomerate Samsung Group will conduct major layoffs. The group will first let go 10% of its 1,600 high-ranking managers. This is the largest executive downsizing of its kind since the 1997 Asian financial crisis. Samsung will also slim down its organizational structure that ballooned in its heyday. Samsung Electronics will integrate 5 business divisions, including semiconductors, LCD panels, and digital media, into 2. 5 of 9 presidents could also be let go. Other conglomerates are also trying to cut costs. KT will slash the number of executives from 300 to below 180 and reduce their bonuses 20%. Officers at SK Telecom will see a 30% pay cut and those at POSCO 10%.
비용 구조에서 가장 큰 부분을 차지하는 고위급 임원의 어떤 인건비를 줄이는 것을 시작으로 해서 비상경영이 시작되고 있는 것으로 보여집니다.
To share the burden, independent directors at SK Corporation and SK Energy have agreed to 10% pay cuts. Large corporations are saving money by downsizing and hiring younger executives to rejuvenate their business lines.
President Lee Myung-bak said lowering wages will create more jobs, thereby reducing unemployment in the country. Here's more on what he said.
The second economic emergency meeting was held Thursday at the presidential office in a bid to create more jobs. Last month's statistics reveal that the number of daily basis and contract workers have significantly decreased. The president said support for families of those who have lost their jobs is most urgent and asked his cabinet to come up with measures to expand employment by lowering wages. Lee urged ministers to execute budget plans to provide daily basis workers more jobs and improve working conditions for them. The president also offered an emergency residential plans, asking to draw up measures to support daily basis workers, such as providing small rental apartments. Taking the food bank system in large cities as an example, President Lee urged the government and conglomerates to take more responsibilities for the society and cooperate in helping out the socially underprivileged.
The ruling and opposition parties are stepping up efforts to promote their positions on disputed bills. Both sides are each explaining the pros and cons of the bills to gain public support.
The ruling Grand National Party calls bills presented to Parliament medicine. They'll be put up for deliberation at the extraordinary parliamentary session next month. The party says it's important to pass these bills to revive the economy.
이 불황을 극복하기 위한 뉴딜 정책도 말만 가지고 하다 보면은 다 세월이 가버립니다.
The ruling party has also defended disputed bills to reform media law, saying they're needed to cope with the rapidly changing media environment and to gear up for the future. The party has held policy briefings in 6 locations nationwide, including the provinces of South Gyeongsang and South Jeolla. Seoul is the next stop in the briefing tour. The main opposition Democratic Party has gone on its own nationwide tour to keep its rival in check. The opposition party has blocked the railroading of the bills through Parliament. But it'll need public support again when the extraordinary session begins next month.
민생 법안에 탈을 쓴 MB 약법 말고는 2월 달에 여야 간에 싸울 일이 하나도 없습니다.
To cater to people in the Chungcheong provinces who are sensitive to deregulation measures for the Seoul metropolitan area, the Democratic Party is criticizing what it calls government policies that undermine balanced national development. The Democratic Party will continue holding protests in 11 regions nationwide until February 15th and seek cooperation from other opposition parties.
The payment of copyright fees is likely to become official to prevent illegal online transactions of pirated movie files. Here are the details.
Film producers and file transfer protocol service providers held a meeting Thursday. They filed a lawsuit due to illegal movie file downloads. Both sides have agreed to eradicate illegal movie file downloads and activate a legally authorized download service system.
법적인 어떤 분쟁 상태로 가기 이전에 자정 노력에 의해서 시장의 어떤 질서를 서로 간에 합의해서 준수하게 되기 때문에
Illegal download fees all have gone to file transfer protocol service providers. But from now on, a certain amount will be paid for copyright to legalize movie file downloads. The film industry had seen damages of more than $365 million annually due to sporadically downloading movie files. Movie makers say they want the system to create new profits for the industry.
합법 시장 속에서 떳떳하게 시장을 발전시켜 나오고 한국 영화 산업에서는 거기서 얻어지는 수익을 한국 영화의 재투자의 자본으로 삼는 선순환 구조를 이루는 게 이번 합의의 목적입니다.
But experts doubt the effectiveness as investors, distributors, and several file transfer protocol services have not participated in the agreement.
More and more Korean coffee lovers are avoiding expensive brews from foreign coffee franchises for cheaper alternatives. Korean coffee chains with low price selections and fast food franchises are now major players in the domestic coffee war.
This coffee shop is filled with office workers waiting for their afternoon caffeine fix. Foreign coffee shop franchises are nearby, but people choose this place for its affordable prices.
가격도 저렴하고 그다음 맛에 대해서도 그렇게 차이를 못 느끼는 것 같아요. 그래서 좀 더 저희 주머니 사정도 고려하고.
A cup of Korean-made Americano costs a little more than $1.50 compared to those of foreign chains ranging from $2.50 to $3. Cheaper prices have helped this Korean coffee shop post 40% growth in revenue and outgrow market leader Starbucks. Fast food restaurants have also joined the coffee war. One marketing promotion is offering premium Italian coffee for $1.50 per cup.
햄버거만 파는 가게라서 커피 맛은 그렇게 기대를 안 했는데 요즘은 커피 맛이 다른 고급 브랜드 못지않게.
These chains are trying to change the traditional perception of a fast food joint by creating a more comfortable and pleasant environment. The coffee war is expected to rage on as more budget-conscious consumers look for good coffee at lower prices.
Many Korean pig farms have trouble dealing with pigs' hind legs, which are cheaper than other parts and not that popular among Korean consumers. But a new recipe has been developed to help out these farms.
The main recipe for manufacturing fermented fresh ham with pig's rear legs is salt and thyme. Rear legs are first rubbed with natural seawater salt. The meat is then left to mature in cool temperature for about 2 months, then fermented for about 9 months at a condition of temperature between 18 to 20 degrees Celsius and humidity of 65 to 70%. No special appliances are necessary. The meat can be just hung up in winter to dry for a year, and the ham is ready for eating next November.
이 발효생햄은 제조 기간은 굉장히 1년 이상으로 굉장히 길지만 그 긴 제조 기간으로 인해서 독특한 풍미라든지 향이라든지 맛을 가지기 때문에.
The fermented ham costs about $87 per kilogram. Unprocessed rear legs sell at less than $3 a kilogram. Fermentation raises the added value by nearly 30 times. Rear legs aren't popular in Korea as the meat is relatively dry and brittle. But the fermented ham can be used in all kinds of recipes like rolls, sushi, and pizza.
만드는 건 생각보다 어렵지 않았고요. 먹어보니까 그 맛은 씹을수록 깊이가 있어서 누구나 접하면 굉장히 반응이 좋은 식품일 것 같아요.
The Rural Development Administration is planning to distribute the ham recipe to farms this year and support sales.
Preserving traditional Korean folk music and dance has been no easy task. The city of Bucheon near Seoul has opened a center devoted to preserving and handing down Korea's performing arts.
Children dance away, standing on men's shoulders. The dancers stay in sync while showing off acrobatic movements. They juggle dishes and bowls. All of their training took place at this center that opened last month.
외부에서 연습을 하다 보면 다칠 염려가 많은데 실내에서 하니까 좀 안정적이고 시간과 뭐 계절 따라 상관없이 아무 때나 연습할 수 있고 그런 점에서 참 좋은 것 같습니다.
A former two-story water purifying facility is now a center to preserve intangible cultural assets of Korea. The first floor is crowded with people learning folk melodies and songs. The survival of the traditions had been at risk due to the lack of venue to offer classes. But the opening of this center has changed all that. Classes are offered to beginners as well as experts.
남녀노소층을 막론하고 굉장히 관심 있어 하고요. 또 없다가 이런 데 없다가 이렇게 그 전수소가 생겨놓으니까
The Bucheon City Hall will also build a stage near the center to hold performances.
The recent freezing temperatures have turned Lake Titone into a favorite ice fishing spot in Korea. Visitors from all over the country are there to enjoy wintertime fishing.
Smelt start nibbling as soon as a fisherman drops a fish hook down a hole drilled in the 20-centimeter thick ice of Lake Titone. These people brave the freezing cold to experience the fascination of smelt fishing. They shout in excitement as they haul up the silvery fish.
한 마리씩 잡아 올려가지고 올린다는 게 느낌이거든요. 물려가지고.
These children have never fished before, but they're having a great time.
기다리다가 낮게 올라오니까 재밌어요.
안 추워요?
추운데 이거 한다고 별로 안 추워요.
The winter smelt fishing at Lake Titone has begun early this month. The lake froze about 10 days earlier than previous years, and the recent spell of cold weather has thickened the ice. The area has become a favorite tourist spot, as visitors can also enjoy the beautiful scenery around the lake. The ice smelt fishing at Lake Titone runs through next month.
Kimchi is Koreans' favorite side dish all year round, but winter is the best time to enjoy crisp, nutritious and spicy kimchi. Today we'll show you how to make special kimchi dishes. An old traditional Korean house in this residential area is teeming with diners at lunchtime. The restaurant's signature dish is long-simmered kimchi. The kimchi is made with cabbages grown in the mountainous region. It's then fermented for 6 months at just the right temperature of 2 degrees Celsius. So no wonder the kimchi tastes superb. Put large chunks of pork in a big pot and place kimchi on top. Then pour beef bone stock and let it simmer until the meat becomes tender. That's how you make the long-simmered kimchi to die for. Your mouth waters just by looking at the tender piece of pork wrapped in kimchi.
아삭한 김치 맛과 부드러운 고기 맛이 아주 조화를 잘 이루는 것 같아서 정말 좋습니다.
And we can't talk about kimchi dishes without this traditional kimchi stew. The secret to spicy and great-tasting kimchi stew is, of course, selecting the right kimchi. The basic ingredient is old kimchi made only with local ingredients, such as cabbages and hot pepper powder from Haenam and sun-dried salt from Sinan. Kimchi should also be matured for more than 3 years.
올해 3년 반 된 겁니다. 이 김치를 끓이기 때문에 깊고 시원한 맛이 나는 겁니다.
For the deep, rich flavor, old kimchi, pork and seasoning are cooked in a large iron cauldron. Boil once more in a clay pot just before serving to complete the mouth-watering kimchi stew. Kimchi is full of such nutrients as lactic acid bacteria and vitamins. And here are some unusual yet delicious kimchi recipes. This is kimchi and sweet potato roast.
Wash kimchi in water before squeezing out the liquid and chopping it finely. Cut steamed sweet potatoes into half lengthwise and scoop out the inside. Add butter and chopped kimchi to mashed sweet potato and fill the sweet potato halves with the filling. Next, top the sweet potatoes with chopped green pepper and grated cheese and bake them in the oven. There you have kimchi and sweet potato roast. Kimchi is used in many children's favorite fried dishes. Lightly season thin slices of beef sirloin. Then place the seasoned beef and julienne green onion on a washed kimchi leaf and roll them up. Next, coat the kimchi rolls with glutinous rice powder and eggs and fry them until they turn golden brown. That's crispy fried kimchi and beef.
김치를 잘 안 먹어서 걱정이 많았었거든요. 그런데 이렇게 해주면은 김치가 있는지 모르면서 또 맛있게 먹으면서 또 김치도 섭취하고 그래서 참 좋을 것 같아요.
This recipe calls for young radish kimchi. Shake off the seasoning from the radish kimchi and cut the stalks and radish. Boned pork rib or bacon should be cut to the size of the radish. Roll up the radish and stalks with pork and fix them with a piece of radish stalk before pan frying them to make pan-fried young radish kimchi and bacon. So how about making your dinner into a delightful dining experience with these special kimchi dishes?
And it's time now for a look at today's economic indicators, followed by world weather. And that brings us to the end of News Today. Join me Monday. Hope you have a great weekend.